Yes, we're good to go, and we are
You're
back.
pressing record.
Yes, and we are back for another episode of Dried Blood. Was this episode 7? I don't want to misspeak, but I think it's 7 as we are here with Night Tide and Loch Ness, our newest guests, Strako and Zayliss. How do you, well, we'll start with Loch Ness. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that D20 Deathmatch?
Basically, when I saw he was a barbarian, I was like, I can't. Like,
You held on for a long time.
The half damage, like he's not gonna, like it was just like, okay, I like chaos anyways, so it kind of worked out that way. But yeah, no, that worked out about how I thought it was.
Barbarians can definitely be tough, especially if you can't find a way to get around that rage. But we're not talking just a barbarian. We had a wild magic barbarian. Night Tide. How did you maybe tell everyone at home how did you build that out? What's the what was the feats and stuff there? How did you have that put together?
Yeah, so I just did straight wild magic barbarian to level 10, and then I took the sentinel feat, which I didn't end up using a whole lot, which was kind of curious. But I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that you had the astral arms, so you were able to hit mostly at 10 feet, so there wasn't a whole lot of that like inside kind of game punching. But I took sentinel and I took shield master because I was figuring no matter what I had to do, I was like, I need some way to kind of like be able to take away like crazy key point damage or like sorcery damage or something. I was like, I don't know what I'm up against, so I need that, right? But it was that was kind of the whole thing. But I just want to have fun with it. So I looked at barbarian and I definitely had the thing in my mind. I'm like, it's deathmatch. Let's like make a super uber powerful thing. And then I was like, wild magic looks ridiculous. And it's like, as soon as I saw unstable backlash, I was like, that's it. Wild magic barbarian. Like, because it's just so random.
Why not?
Like,
Yeah.
the random, I can't believe I got the same rolls of so many different things the same times. Like, I was really hoping for some of like the more crazy things because like Strako is a play on Kratos. And so I really wanted the thrown weapon so badly to be able to throw the ice axe.
Oh,
but it didn't happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really interesting. Like you build these characters out and you're like, I'm trying something new. Why not? Like, and this is the space to try it. It's a one-time thing, test and see what works, what doesn't work. And it's also really interesting because you get to glance and see what your opponent's going to have, but you can't really anticipate how they're going to play it. So it's really hard to prepare your character because they may, play it an entirely different way. And it's like, well, I took all these feats and it doesn't do anything now. Yeah. So I would love to hear from you both. Like, was there a particular move that you thought was really unexpected from your opponent? Like when they did that, you're like, wow, this is awesome. Totally out of left wing for me. Just because it's so strange of what everyone can bring to this game field. And it doesn't even have to be specific to what their character, uniquely did by their class or race.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the blinding, but I think it's because I love RP, even RP in combat. So like the Marco Polo thing killed me. And I was just like, oh, that's perfect. That's so good.
Well, I was like, well, we've talked about this. Like we're content creators. So it's like, we know that like it's a show, right? So we want to have fun with it. And I'm like, well, it's no fun if you're just like spinning blindly in space. Like I'm going to tell you where I am, give you a chance to come hit me. Right.
Yeah,
like, like it's the wild magic that you get blinded. I didn't really pick it, right? Like, so, have fun with it and do Marco Polo. But no, with that first move, the opening sequence where you just straight climb the wall and like, I know monks have movement and stuff, but like in that kind of more confined space of the portal room, just like how you used your movement in that space. Like, and I'm no, like my guy's no slouch. He still has 40 feet of movement. So there's still a lot of movement for barbarian, but like you're using all of that athleticism to like climb over the wall and hammer down on me from above. And I'm just like, oh shit. Okay. I guess that's happening. Oh, I'm getting pushed through a portal. Fantastic. Right. Like those movement things for me were like, I expected to just get pummeled, right, by monk key points, just absolutely just, hitting me left and right. But that was super cool to see the extra movement and trying to use those aspects in battle.
Yes. And that really took the map from 2D to 3D. Yep. And thinking about where you can move. And Loch Ness, you also did this in the asteroid where you jumped over.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And thinking about, because so often when we see the map, we think flat.
Yeah.
but being creative like that was such a beautiful moment. And I loved that for your character. And I just imagined her flying over very artfully.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
what I always think of whenever I think of monks is just height and acrobatics versus just, flat.
yeah.
So
I think both of your characters really like this whole week was really interesting for me, anyways. Like, because obviously we've done this several times now, and like, but it was very chaotic all around. And even though it's like kind of our brand, it was like an extra level of chaos because you guys were both being very creative. We had a what amounted to a wild magic map, and then you had wild magic, and then you had the astral arms, and it was just like all these things coming together. And then we went to space. It was like it was very chaotic this week, and it was really nice because there was a lot of randomization to it, and we like that. Obviously, we set a lot of things up ahead of time, but like when we get to be surprised too, that's awesome. When you guys are like, and that's always where it comes when like you guys take what we have made and then just do something different with it, and that's really fun.
anytime I
Like
see
shoving the
portals.
asteroid,
Yeah.
shoving the asteroid. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh, that was so good.
It's like you said, go plus ultra. I was
Yeah.
like, he's a
Yeah.
barbarian. He's just gonna push the damn asteroid. I don't know.
That's the fun thing too, because like in this setting, like maybe in a regular D&D campaign, you got to be a little bit more measured, and you're like, I don't know, but like here, I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, I want you to push that asteroid, so yes,
Mhm.
Go for it.
We'll do that.
Something I wish I had have said about that moment, because I imagine the asteroid like turning,
Oh.
right? So I just imagine her like running under it.
Oh yeah, that'd have been
You know what I mean?
cool,
And
yeah.
it hit me after. I was like, oh gosh, she totally could have been like running under it. And then,
Describe
like,
it now.
shot
Let's
off of
retcon it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just how, I don't know. I just feel like she would have been
Mhm.
using that movement underneath as well. So
Or like a
That's
log
cool.
roll. You're just like
Going with
Yeah.
it.
staying on top.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
It was
here
really
and
cool.
using that as part of your control as you roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
No.
a really neat take. And also really shows how when we picture our characters, how in control they can be and really smart and reactive to the situations that they're in, despite being thrown to outer space. I'll be honest, if I ever had to fight in outer space, I would die because I've never been there before. So this was really good to think about this and also not be thrown off by whatever random place, because you all didn't know you were going to end up in an asteroid field,
Mm-hmm.
not a normal fighting ground.
It was awesome.
Well, I hope that
That's great.
and we use this map in the playtest. So anyone who's our Patreon subscribers has seen this map before, potentially, and so I wanted to like, but in that time we didn't have a second map or anything, so I really wanted to like spice this one up for anybody who had seen it. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're getting sucked through one of these portals, and they're gonna go somewhere. I was like, yeah, I got the perfect one.
You all played with it so well, though. And I think that speaks to your ability to be creative in these spaces and not just think, all right, I've got a weapon, I want to use this weapon. Instead, you were thinking, like, how can I do random things within the space itself?
Oh, and the man, poor Timothy.
Oh,
You bring it up, poor Timothy. It's yeeted into oblivion.
You did that, and as soon as you did that, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make him feel bad for this.
I loved
I
it.
was
No,
like-
it's so good.
I mean, it was a really smart, like, heroic moment, too, at the
Yeah.
same time. So torn.
I did not. I expected you like to throw it at her. I was like, maybe he doesn't have the movement, and then you yeeted it away, and I was like, oh, that's smart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know what I think I was thinking. Like, honestly, I think I was understanding it wrong in my mind, that it would like somehow she would have to chase it if I threw it the other way. And I was like, no, I'm it. So I tag it, it becomes it. And then when you then you made me feel bad for it being Timothy, the governor of all the alien. I was like, oh, son of a damn it. I mean, I guess it was still a good move, but damn it.
It was still really good.
He's
Yeah,
a goddamn hero.
We name everything here.
Did you see
Sorry.
in chat? They were like, and he was the pastor, so it broke up.
And he was the pastor.
Damn it! Take it even further. Oh.
He's
Everyone got
the
attached
single
to him.
founder of every charitable organization in the region.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
He is the heart and soul of
He's the
Little
CEO of
asteroid
Doctors
town.
Without Borders.
Damn tiny Timothy.
Single-handedly adopted 18 orphans.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was-
No, I just want to say I was actually I was appreciative of like one of the things that caught me off guard the most was just that initial RP moment where it's like, I sent a little destruction fear your way, and then you come up and it's just like, dude, like, no, like, we're cool. And like that set a different tone. Like that set a totally different tone, because I was like, how do I play this? Like, how do I get into character of just wanting to like kill a random person, right? Like,
Yeah.
and especially because they're both probably like heroes in their own right and adventurers and stuff. And so like, I was even messaging Mud before. I was like, well, maybe it's like this because this would like piss him off or whatever. And then I was like, well, you don't respect me? And you're like, no, I respect you. Like, it's totally cool. And I was like, okay. Like that whole like now we're fighting as like rivals as opposed to death enemies was really, I think, a cool dimension too that I never would have thought of to bring to it. So massive fun and kudos there.
Yeah.
I kept imagining in like Ragnarok, you know, like they're all I don't know, like they all have to fight each other, but they're just sitting in there, you know, chatting and stuff. Like that's how I felt about it. So I was like, sure, okay.
It was awesome. That was awesome.
Just perfect camaraderie, and the lines that came from that just it challenged your characters of like why they were fighting or why they chose certain actions. Like it drastically altered the battle choices. It was so fun.
I mean, they're just added to the confusion of like, hey, we're supposed to kill each other, and then you're like, no, we're cool, and then you're given the finger, and it's like, wait, are we cool?
As you go through the portal.
This doesn't seem cool.
I saw so many 10 out of 10 cards fly up and chat from that moment.
Just like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Like she, you know, she's edgy and she's chaotic, but also like she did respect him and like they could be friends, but also like kind of wants to punch things. So it's just it is.
Yeah. It's always
that's how she felt.
It's always fun sitting like back in our position because again, like, you know, we've got all these preconceived notions about this show that we've created, but then you come in and do something weird like that, and then I'm like, well, shit, how are we supposed to respond to that? Like,
yeah, when you can I roll an insight? I'm like, I don't even know what you're gonna look for.
Yeah, what are you looking for out here?
I am also cool. I don't know.
I'm trying to read the room right now.
It's such a different experience than like playing a regular game with the same people all the time.
Yeah,
because everyone's got their own play style and their own unique experiences, and like, yeah, again, when you're saying I'm looking for something here on this rock, yeah, I have no idea the kind of stuff you're going to look for. Versus if we'd played together a bunch, then I might have an idea. But so it keeps us on our toes, which is fun.
Y'all rocked it.
I gotta find an alien token now.
Yeah, you do.
An alien Timothy worm token.
We wrap up with
resurrect Timothy.
Timothy. He will need to make a comeback.
We need to make a T-shirt like "Remember Timothy."
Remember,
never forget. As he's just like exploding on an asteroid.
No.
His face is all peeled back.
We're gonna have to talk to High Score T and see if we can make that happen.
It's so great.
Remember
he's
Timothy.
Really cool. I purposely chose the colors of D20 Deathmatch. So he lights up. He matches our aesthetic. Just need this little alien caterpillar crawling along as a light bulb. Look.
I love it.
All right. So
this is the wrap up.
This is the wrap up. How we like to end it with either you as a player or your character sharing a final thought or wisdom or, you know, whatever. One final message to the acolytes. Nighttide, what do you... floor is yours.
You can still respect someone and nearly cut them in half.
It's pretty good.
It's like giving them permission.
All right. Any final words from Zayliss?
You can respect people who cut you in half.
You heard it here.
2 pieces of the puzzle. Perfect.
I feel like they would have been best friends. Like
They'll get that beer in Valhalla.
We'd have been best friends if you hadn't murdered me.
I think that's D&D though.
Yeah, that's D&D. We'll see you next time, guys, on the next Dried Blood.